So we've seen the devices, we've seen all the data that has been collected, but how can we use the data? We've seen that with education. There is also another way of using data just for guiding people, to helping them out, sorting out and providing them with services, you know, this famous augmented reality and all these different things you can bring to people. It means today I can just go into the street, I don't know where I am, but thanks to this little device or any kind of screen, I can access any type of data and be guided, even if I don't know where I am at all.
If I did not have a map function on the iPhone, I could not live in this city.
Yeah,
I could not live here.
That, so. And there's much more about that.
Time.
So I'm pleased to welcome on stage now Julien BILLOT, Chief Operations Officer of Page Jaune, who's going to tell us what kind of services we're going to have in mobility.
Hi.
So Julien, tell us, what's the story? So we've seen data, we've seen screens. What do you do with that? You use them?
Yeah, it's a very good program. Hi, everybody. I think if you think about web and mobile, actually all these media are becoming more and more local. It was quite obvious for mobile, it's quite new on the web, but all the connecting industry is getting more and more local. And if you think about local, you had first, of course, the search engine. You were searching for local information using text. That was, let's say, the first step for local information. Then you had maps, major players being Mappy, Google Maps, and others. But we think as Page Jaune that photo and pictures will be the next generation of local search. Because if you think about how you act when you are in your city, in your street, when somebody is asking you where is the nearest post office, you don't say it's the exact address, because basically you don't know the address of the nearest post office, but you know it's, okay, the first street on the right, then you go on the middle of the street and you find it. And that's a new way of searching, and that's typically the way we want to address the local information and the local market, by new type of product using pictures and 3D pictures to travel, to walk virtually in the city.
Okay, so maybe we can run the video, Urban Dive, just to illustrate the type of service we can provide people with.
Yeah, Urban Dive is exactly this project. It's Dive in the City. As you can see in the picture, we are using a technology based on the NASA patent, the Mars rover, with a Californian company called EarthMine, and it's using 3D pictures like you know it on 3D view. The major difference is we want to build a complete ecosystem on this open ecosystem on these pictures to allow anybody to build content and place it on the pictures. So not using search engine technologies, basically more using an app store type of technology, allowing anybody to place picture, to place content, to do business. For example, for this hotel, you could place something to book a room into the hotel. And so basically allowing you to, as a consumer, to use the pictures of the city to find everything relevant around you in the city. That can be content, that can be business. For example, you try to find a florist or flowers, so you can go to the next florist near you, find the deal on it immediately on the picture of the shop. It can be, of course, something to travel, so you want to find the next coffee, and you can have immediately the visual direction and have a new generation of guidance, showing you where to go, and that's kind of a dream, but it's not so far away, so nearly video itinerary. It can be also, of course, social networks, because you are at this cafe, you want your friend on Facebook to know where you are, and send them not only where you are, but the picture of where you are, and so in the world, people can find and immediately see where you are, not only on the map, but also exactly seeing the pictures. And of course, because it's a 3D model, you can play on it, add new objects, add your own pictures, and basically play with the city. That's something very important, because we think it's something quite new, and the way we'll do it is not in as a closed environment, but something completely open, of course on any type of devices, all connected devices, with a complete open ecosystem.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's outstanding, and it's almost here. It's here, actually.
Yeah, it's not completely here. The beta will be open in November, so perhaps end of November, but some weeks tomorrow. And the first opening for the first cities, Paris and Marseille, will be first quarter, beginning of second quarter 2011. So very close off today.
Okay. So we see different steps, actually. So we have now guidance, helping people out. Other services will be developed. What you see in 2015, 5 years seems like ages from now when you see the...
Yeah, well, of course, what we see is, for me, the most important thing, and what I did with Orange was exactly that, is mobile is really the biggest revolution of all, because mobile for the next 5 years will be the third stage of mobile evolution. First stage was basically mobile communication. It was a new way for transform your communication into your personal communication. That was the first revolution of mobile between, let's say, 1995 and 2003, 2004. It was SMS, voice, etc. The second revolution was what we live today, thanks to the iPhone and the other platform, is really mobile multimedia, your world in your hand. And everything around you, your maps, your content, everything. And the third generation will be really the way to connect the virtual world and the real world. And that's the next revolution for mobile. It's basically augmented reality. With a picture, you have a direct link between a picture and a content. But it can be also the RFID or the NFC type of contact, where you have the contactless payment, contactless information with the Internet of the objects. So mobile will be really the mediator between the real life and the life online. And I think for the next 4 or 5 years, I'm not a prophet, but I really see this way of evolution and leveraging mobile as a new step for day-to-day life and the mediator for link between real life and online life, if I may say.
And although it's very complex in backstage, I have the impression that we go more and more to very easy interfaces, so people just forget about technology and they do just like in everyday life, and you don't just think about it. It's
the key is simplicity, as Mr. Kawat say from Toshiba. Simplicity, but of course simplicity means huge complexity in the back office. And I think what's very difficult, and even in the experience of Urban Dive, what we really try to say is it should be very simple, intuitive. And that's of course very complex, because to be intuitive, you have to have the right information in the right place. And the right shop cannot be, not on 10 meters on the map is not very important. 10 meters on a picture is very important, because if you place the shop at the next shop and not on the right one, it's completely wrong. So to be simple and evident for the customer is a huge work in the back office.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
That is great.